Hey everybody! So we are talking about Facebook for small businesses today, and we have a few of us here to discuss how Facebook works and all of the options available to business owners to promote your services and products and to build connections with your customers. So my name is Ilana Earhart. I'm the business librarian, and I can help you with any questions that you have. You could book a librarian and I can talk with you about whatever your questions are, whatever problems you're trying to solve with projects that you are working on. And so let me know if you want to connect with me. My email is eerhardt@jcls.org. And the website for the library is jcls.org if you want to find more resources through the library. We have also Laura Irwin. She is one of our digital services associates, and Danielle C. is our guest speaker. I wanted Danielle to get a chance to introduce herself, and then we'll have Laura introduce. So Danielle, can you tell us about yourself and your business?
Sure. My name is Danielle C., and I run GSD Professional Services. And what we do is help small business owners manage the tasks that are associated with running a business. So whether that's through education and one-on-one coaching or through the services of our freelance agency, we just help take care of all the tasks that make things difficult.
Awesome. And Laura, can you go ahead and tell us what you do with Jackson County Library Services?
Yeah, so I am a part of the Digital Service Department at Jackson County Library Services. And I'm a part of the department basically that helps people learn how to use technology, both by meeting them one-on-one as well as by helping with programs such as this.
Awesome. So as we go through this, this program, we're going to start out with Laura and her presentation to get everybody oriented about all of the different tools that are available with Facebook. And then she'll hand the mic over to Danielle and we'll learn about customer engagement and marketing. So Laura, do you want to take the mic?
I will do that. Thank you, Alana, for that lovely introduction and getting us started. As Alana mentioned, I'm going to be talking about Facebook for Business, as will be Danielle. And if you want to contact us for help with Facebook or actually any technological questions you have, you can reach us at digitalservices@jcls.org by email, or you can contact us by phone at 541-734-3990. So when you're first getting started with Facebook and trying to establish a business presence, something to be aware of, if you choose to share like your business content on your personal profile, you are going to be violating Facebook's terms of services, because that basically their terms of services don't allow for people to have like commercial content on their profile. So if you want to have a business presence on Facebook, you definitely want to create a Facebook page. In order to create a page, the first step is just to log into your Facebook account via the website. And once you're logged in, you'll just want to click on the little create button, which is at that top right-hand corner, excuse me, and then choose the page option to begin the process of creating a Facebook page. Once you do that, you're going to be asked to decide what kind of page you want to create. So you can choose a business or brand page, or you can do like a community or public figure page. For most businesses, the business or brand option is going to be best. So you'll just want to click on that Get Started button, which is kind of towards the bottom of that section of the business or brand option. Once you do that, it's going to ask you to enter a name for your page, as well as select a category that's going to fit best for your page, for your business. Something to think about before you even get to this point is make sure you have at least a couple of different names to choose from in case your first choice isn't available. And you also want to make sure to think really careful about what kind of category you want to be categorized as, because that helps make your page more searchable when people are looking for pages about businesses like yours. Once you choose the category and you enter your page name, you'll then have the option to add in your address number, your address and your phone number, and then of course just click on continue to be able to get to the next step. So the next step is to choose a profile picture. Some businesses will choose, for example, their business logo. That can be a nice one to use. Whatever picture you decide to use for your profile as well as your cover photo, you want to make sure that it's a really high quality photo so that it helps get that kind of professional look to your page. If you don't have a photo ready yet, you can always choose to just click on that little skip button in order to skip this process and then just do it at a later time. After you've either chosen to skip or upload that profile picture, the next step is going to be to choose your cover photo. And the cover photo is the same thing. You're just choosing either to upload the photo or you can skip that if you're not ready for it. Sometimes people will choose, when they're choosing a cover photo, something that helps represent their business well or helps kind of show like a happy customer kind of moment to help create a nice look to their page. And then the last step in the creation process is choosing whether or not you want to allow for people to book appointments with you online. And you can choose to add this or you can choose to say not now if that's something you're not wanting to do at this point. I said after you created your page, you're going to be brought to the page view. This is kind of a nice place to start out when you're just starting to get to know your page and make sure it's set up the way that you want. Page preview allows you to basically see your page the way your customers and people who are visiting your page are going to see it. In addition to be able to see how that page looks to others, you also have the ability to do some management stuff from within the page preview section. For example, you can choose to update or add a profile picture by tapping on this little circle area here and then just choosing whether you want to choose from your photos that you already have on Facebook, or say choose to upload a photo from your computer. And the same thing is true for your cover photo from here. You can also choose to view it, or you can also choose to change the cover or add a cover photo if you want. And from here, you can choose to add a photo from your Facebook account or a video from your Facebook account, as well as upload a photo or video to add to your cover of your page. And then, so that's some basic stuff you can do there. You can also choose to add a call to action button. If you click on this add button, you can choose, there's a couple different choices you have when it comes to call to action button you can add. You could choose to do that book with you, in other words, or schedule an appointment with you online, or you could choose to add a contact button, which will allow people to message you. You could also create a call to action button that if people click on it, they'll learn more about your business. You could also choose a call to action button that allows people to shop with you. When you make a choice, it's going to take you step through step of that process of creating that call to action button. So for example, if I did contact you and I can click on just a send message, I can then just say next after I've chosen that, and it's going to let me choose messenger, that messaging option. And that allows me to create a call to action button where people can send me a message. You can also from within here choose to test the button as well too, which can be kind of a nice way to make sure that it's working the way you expect. Another thing you can do from here is you can choose to create a vanity URL. If you have 25 or more likes for your page, a vanity URL can make it just a little easier for you to find, for people to find your page. By default, when you create a page, you'll get kind of a long address like this with like a lot of numbers. A vanity URL allows you to create something that's a little more easier to remember. So it can be a helpful thing to employ once you've got that, once 25 people or more have liked your page. And unfortunately, if you have less than 25 likes, you won't have that option just yet. From within this section, you can also choose to create posts just like you would on your own personal profile and to share it if you want. In addition to that, you also have the ability to take a look at the different tabs to your page, which is kind of nice because then you can see what options people have when it comes to navigating the parts of your page. Also, if you want to, from here, you can click on different sections of your page and actually edit them directly from that page, that section of your page itself. So for example, I can click on the edit button on say my general section of the About page, and I can choose to add another category if I wanted, or I could choose to delete a category and then just save those changes. And so it kind of gives you a nice way to edit stuff directly. And you can do that for pretty much all the different sections directly from here as well if you want. And kind of make changes as you're viewing those different spots. In addition to the page preview section, you also have the inbox. So inbox is kind of like your email inbox that allows you to see messages that you have received from your Facebook page. You can also see comments that people make on the posts you put on your Facebook page as well. And you'll see them by default usually in this main folder, but you do have other folders that you can make use of or access as well, such as the done folder for those communications that have been completed, or the spam folder for those messages that you don't need. If you have your Facebook page set up to be connected with your Instagram account, you can also from within the inbox view Instagram direct messages as well as Instagram comments. You can kind of make it easier to see all your messages in one place. And then one other tool you have here in the inbox section is you have the ability to access your automated responses, which basically allows you to set up a way to basically set up what your messenger will say automatically whenever people start to message you. You can set up such things as away messages or an instant reply. And so you have a lot of choices in way you can customize those automatic responses for your messenger communications. The next section is appointments. And appointments, basically, it's if you decide to set it up so people can schedule an appointment with you to meet for you, either because they're meeting for, say, a hair appointment or just to come in and get some tutoring or something along those lines. You'll see those requests in here if you've chosen to set up this option. And so you can do this with Facebook's native scheduler. You can also use a Google Calendar to do the scheduling and actually sync your Google Calendar with Facebook's appointment features as well. One other thing you can do from in here is you can also manage your appointment settings from within this section by just clicking on appointment settings, and it will take you through the different things that you can manage about how things work when it comes to appointments for you. And then in addition to the appointment section, you may or may not see the option to manage job. It depends upon your settings. This is something you can choose to enable if you want people to be able to apply for a job with your business via Facebook. So this is, but by default, this doesn't usually show up. You do have to enable this particular option if you're wanting to have that as a possibility with your page. Another section is notifications. This is where you can go to see any kind of notifications about what's happening with your page. So for example, if someone likes your page or comments on your page, you can see notifications about those likes and comments here in the notifications section. If you choose to click on the more, you're going to see some additional options or things that you can take a look at when it comes to managing your page, one of which is Insights. Insights is Facebook's analytics tools. It basically allows you to kind of get a sense of how your page is performing. If you want to know more about the different types of analytics that you have available when you're in this Insights section of your page, if you hover over the little eye, it's going to give you a description of what that analytic is telling you. So for example, actions on pages is letting you know the number of clicks as your page contact info and call to action button are getting. And if you're knowing how much people are clicking on that might give you a sense of whether or not that's actually a useful call to action button to have. Facebook only retains insights and analytics for up to 28 days. So if you're wanting to track these kind of statistics over a longer time frame, you will need to choose to export your data to, say, an Excel file. And you can do this like once a week or once every 28 days to help track those statistics. Another section you have access to is called publishing tools. When you're using publishing tools, this allows you to create posts just like you did from the page view part of your page. The difference with this is you can choose to create posts, not only that you're going to post right this minute, but you can choose to post things for the future. Also from within here, you can choose to post to Instagram as well if you have your Instagram account connected to your page, which is kind of nice. If you've got like several posts that you want to do at once, you can easily do that from here, and then just simply choose to share it now, or you can choose to say, for example, schedule it to get posted in the future. So you could choose to do it for a future date, say a week out, and then just schedule it, and then that will go out when you're ready. And you can do several posts like this. So that way, if I say you have a week or 2 weeks worth of posts, you could set them up through here automatically, and then just set them to go live at a certain specific date. In addition to publishing tools, you also have the Ad Center. This is where you can go if you're wanting to make use of Facebook's ability to allow you to advertise on Facebook. It does tend to cost. Usually what you have to do is you have to set a budget and determine a time frame in which you want to say like boost a post, for example. And this is something you can choose to use, or you can choose to just forego it until you've been on Facebook a while before deciding to try and dive into using this feature. But it is an option that you have available to you if you want to take advantage of that. One other thing you have here in this more section is page quality. This is probably not something you're going to see every single day, but it's a good thing to be aware of because it just allows you to know how you stand with Facebook. So if your page has any kind of restrictions or violations going on with it, you can see that information here in the page quality section. You also have a link to Facebook's community standards, which is a good thing to get familiar with so that you can make sure that what you're doing is in line with what Facebook accepts. To the far right here, we also have the ability to go directly to editing your page info. This is another area you are going to want to spend a certain amount of time on because you want to make sure that you're giving all the information that people are going to need to know about your business. In this page info section, you can choose to add a description about your business. You can choose to add different categories, which can help make your page more searchable. You can also add contact information, like website information. You can add additional things like service areas. So for example, if you say do deliveries in certain parts of Jackson County, you can indicate what service areas what areas you go to. And then you can also add, of course, your business hours and a lot of really helpful information that you'll definitely want to take some time to go through and make sure that this is telling people all the things you want them to know about your business and how it works. And then this page info is a part of the settings, your settings section, which you can get to. If you click on settings, you can get to page info, or you can just click on the edit page info link as well. The settings link is kind of a nice one to make use of because settings allows you to see not only the page info section of your settings, but a lot of other sections to your settings options. So for example, when you're in settings, you have this general settings section. This allows you to do things such as make your page unpublished. This can be kind of a handy option if you know it's going to take you a while to really fully flesh out your page. If you choose to publish it, you can also do that from here as well, and then just save that change if you want to make it go live. Some other things you have the ability to do when you're here in the general settings section of your page is like you have your visitor posts. If you click on this little edit link, it's going to let you know what that entails. So for example, in the visitor post settings, you can choose whether or not to allow visitors to publish posts to your page, and whether or not you're going to require that those posts be reviewed by you before they get published to the page. You also have a means from within here to manage your post and story sharing options. You have the ability to set it up so, for example, people can message you privately. If you choose to enable this and then save that change, that's going to make it so you automatically have a messenger button on your page. And if you choose to enable Messenger this way, it'll allow you to use that other call to action button for another option, such as booking with you or learning more about how to shop with you. You also have the ability to manage things such as tagging. So you can, allow others to tag photos and videos that are published by your page. And here, if you wanted to, you could choose to enable that and save those changes. And a lot of other things. Another one that's really good to be aware of, you have the ability to set a profanity filter, which is kind of handy if you choose to allow people to post to your page. You can help kind of minimize the chance of people using inappropriate language, which is kind of a nice thing to enable. And you can basically go down through here. A lot of them are pretty self-explanatory. You also have the ability to do such things as merge duplicate pages as well as and delete a page. So just the best thing to do is just kind of poke around at these different ones and make sure they're set the way you want. And you can always do this just by clicking on the edit for that particular setting that you're wanting to take a look at and making any changes you need to make in that general settings section. From your settings, you also have the ability to manage settings about your messaging. So for example, you can set it up so that there is a greeting that's automatically displayed before someone even begins messaging you directly. You also have the ability from within here to set up things such as choosing a display photo when people are communicating with you on Messenger, as well as how you want the name to show up when you're communicating with people on Messenger as well. From within the settings section, you have another area called templates and tabs. This is kind of a handy one to be aware of because it allows you to change the kind of tabs people can see. So those tabs that I was showing you earlier on your the page preview, you can manage those tabs from here as well. You can do things like, for example, rearrange them. Some of them you can even choose to just turn off if you don't want them to show up on your page, and then save your changes. Also, if you find that the tabs you have don't quite meet your needs, you can choose to change your template by just going to the template section and clicking on edit and then choosing a different template. So for example, I could choose business and then choose to view details. And that's going to kind of give me a sense of what kind of tabs that template is going to give me. And that might change the options that I have. If I like that template options, I can just choose to apply that and then say okay. And that's going to just change a little bit about what I have showing up here, what tabs I can have accessible by people who visit my page. Another section of your settings that's good to be aware of is the notification settings. These settings allow you to determine how much information you're getting about the activity that's occurring on your page. So for example, you can choose whether or not you want to get notified every time there's activity on a page, or you could choose to be notified, say, once every 12 to 24 hours about all the activity that's occurring on your page. From within here, you also have the decision, you can decide what you want to be notified about. So for example, you can choose, if you don't want to get new page mention notifications, you can choose to turn that off. And that will help to reduce the number of messages you're getting if you want. In addition to being able to determine how frequently you're being notified and what you're being notified about, you can choose how you're being notified. You can choose to get, say, push notifications on like a mobile device. You could choose to get notifications via email, or you could choose to get notifications via text messaging. Another section of your settings that's good to be aware of is page roles. If you have people you would like to assist you with managing that page, you can click on page roles and begin assigning roles to individuals. So for example, I could assign a role to Alana Earhart, and I could choose to, I have a lot of different roles I can choose for her. I could choose to give her an admin role, which gives her the highest level of access and allows her to do all the same things that I can do, or I can choose to make her an editor or a moderator, an advertiser, or an analyst. If there's a role you're not sure about, you can always just click on it and it will give you a really nice description beneath this little area here, letting you know what exactly that role is going to be able to do, which makes it a little easier to decide what role to assign a person. Once you have decided what role to assign them, you just click on add, and that's going to send them a notification letting them know that you've set them up as someone who can help with the page and what that role is going to be. From within your settings section, you also have the ability to connect your Instagram account. You can do this by just clicking on Instagram. And then from within here, you can choose to connect, or in this case, for me, I would just choose to disconnect if I didn't want to have that Instagram account attached to it anymore. And this is kind of nice if you're wanting to make it so that everything's happening in one place in terms of like management and keeping tabs on things with both your Instagram account and your Facebook account. There's a lot more here, of course. The best thing to do when you're trying to make sure that the settings are the way you want is just to poke around and check out the different settings you have and see what can be done with them. And just by clicking on it, as the Facebook's pretty good about giving some really nice descriptions and explaining what is possible with those settings and what those settings will do for you. One last thing I want to make sure people are aware of. I said sometimes you'll have questions that come up that you're not sure the answer is. You can always make use of Facebook's help section, and you can type in their question. You can even look at their frequently asked questions in order to gain more information that'll help you better figure out what you're trying to do on that Facebook page. So that's pretty much it when it comes to learning how to navigate and manage your page. I'm going to turn the microphone over to Danielle and let her share all her wonderful information with you.
Thanks. So Laura talked more about the mechanics of setting up a Facebook page and managing it, and I'm going to talk more about what you should actually post and how you can leverage Facebook for your business. So first of all, your social media should be representative of your business's voice. You want to treat your readers the same way that you treat your customers. So if you're usually friendly, casual, or a little jokey, then that's a great way to be on Facebook. If you're more conservative, straight-laced, professional, if you have a more serious business, then you'll want to stay that way online too. You want to keep that experience consistent from the time they learn about you and research you online to when they meet with you in person and use your product or service. So that being said, the goal of social media is to build those relationships. You want to build relationships with your community and thus with your potential clients. So your goal with every post is going to be one of three things: to connect, to commit, or to convert. So your connection posts are a way for your audience to learn more about you and your organization on a personal level. That helps them understand what makes you different than the others in your industry and why they may want to work with you. It kind of gets them on your side and just makes that connection with them and with your community. The next phase, or the next kind of post that you'll want, is the commitment posts. And this is what happens when your readers view you as your insider in the industry or your go-to place for whatever service or product you provide. So whether they're ready right now to commit or not, when they do need your service or when they do need your product, you're the person that they're going to go to, and you're the person who's given them information and educated them and shown value and shown an interest in them. So you've built a relationship with them and they're committed to you for when they're ready for that product or service. And the next step is conversions, and that's the actual sales that you can drive through Facebook. So this is when you make posts with calls to action, or like go to our website to buy or message me for a consultation. It doesn't necessarily have to be ads. It can be. Those are definitely conversion posts, but they are posts that have some reason why your reader would do something, and which ultimately is going to drive sales. So whether it's meeting with you for a discovery call or going to your website for a product, those are those conversion posts that drive them from Facebook to you. And this is a super long timeline. This is not going to happen overnight, and it's not going to happen all at one time. So you're not going to make connection posts for a month and then commitment posts for a month and then conversion posts for a month, because every time someone's reading your Facebook page or your Facebook posts, they may be at different stages of the buyer's journey. They may never have heard of you, so you're connecting with them. They may not be as interested in your commitment or conversion posts because they're still in the connection phase. So don't feel disheartened if some of your posts are barely seen. A lot of this is just to be giving a presence. Because many buyers research businesses on Facebook, and just having content for them to look through, it helps them make a decision. So you want to be providing educational content, informational content, so that when they're looking for the thing that you provide, they're consuming content that's created or delivered by you, because that builds that trust. So even if they don't see it that day, they may see it as they're scrolling through, and they may see it months later, and that may be the thing that changes their mind or that pushes them into a sale. So it's easy to feel like you're shouting into the void, but it is for a purpose, and it does help eventually. One good rule of thumb is to have a combination of posts that are a mix of about a third related to your business that are just interesting or connecting to your reader, about a third, those can be like quotes, sharing relevant news stories, or other things. You want to keep it closely related to your business, but also still speaking in that brand voice that you have. Another third of the post should be educational. So you want to educate your audience about you, about your product, about your service, about what makes you special, and what kind of things your audience needs that you provide. So they may have a pain point that they haven't discovered yet. You may have to educate them on what it is that you do and how you can help them. That is awesome for sharing behind the scenes or work in progress photos. So if you're an artist, sharing time-lapse videos or things like that that help show what your process is behind the scenes, it helps them make that connection, and educate them on your process, which is always just really helpful. Another third can be directly promotional. So this is where you'll directly relate something that you have to an offer and encourage your reader to buy or meet with you for a discovery call. So those conversion posts. Obviously, the goal of all of your posts is to sell your product, but pages that just repeatedly post promotional things don't encourage people to follow you. And they want to see your posts that are connecting to your organization and to your community. Otherwise, they have no reason to follow you. So if you're just kind of spamming things all the time, you just aren't going to be interesting, and you're not building that community. You want to provide some other value too. So I know that's a lot. But the trick to being successful with this is starting really, really small and just creating a system that works for you. For me, it helps to have a spreadsheet where I can dump ideas for posts. That way, as I'm scrolling or reading things, I can add them to a spreadsheet. And then when it's time for me to sit down and make my social media posts, I have some ideas to start with, so you don't suffer from that writer's block that I think we all end up with for trying to promote our businesses. The next step is choosing a scheduling platform that works for you. I cannot stress this enough. You do not want to be every single day trying to find something to post. It's a lot of stress, it's a lot of pressure, and you're not going to do it. So you're going to end up being really, really good about it for, 2 or 3 weeks at most. And then you'll go silent for a long time because things will pop up and it's not revenue generating. So it, falls to the bottom of the pile. So setting up with a scheduler, whether you use the Facebook native scheduler, which is useful. It's right there in Facebook. It's free. If that is something that feels good to you, definitely use it. Otherwise, you can use the others like Buffer or Hootsuite. They're really easy to do. They all have free trials and really powerful free versions. And I do suggest using a third-party one because in Facebook, it's really hard to see everything put together. So you don't get a good picture of your marketing plan, and it's really easy to double post things or reschedule, or you kind of mix things up and inadvertently post things that you may not have wanted to post or duplicate. So it's nice to have something that has a calendar view at best, or a list view if nothing else. And Facebook doesn't have either. So yeah, then whatever you do, just don't rely on trying to find things every day and remembering to post. Do something where you can sit down and plan out a week or a month at a time, create posts, and then get them scheduled. That way you can set it and forget it and focus more on revenue generating activities or things that are more fun in your business, because this maybe isn't the most fun. And that is all I have. Thank you.
Hey, I want to thank you both so much for sharing your expertise. So we got the tactical view of how to use Facebook as a tool for marketing your business, and we got the relational view of how to connect with your customers and the ways to do that and the frameworks that make it successful. So. Again, I want to let you know that if you have any questions about Facebook, about customer engagement, you can contact us. We are excited to help you with any questions that you have. And again, thank you to Laura and Danielle, and we'll see you virtually at the library. So stay in contact. Thank you.